Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
I'm Brad Lake.
And I'm Toph Ferguson.
We're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. Today, we're going to be talking about...
Today, we're talking about our top 100 games of all times as of January 2023.
But not all 100.
No. Today, we're going to be starting with our 50, making our way down to 41.
Going all the way down. Stick around to the end so you can find out what our number 50 is, which is probably, going to take a little time, but it's a lot of fun. We'll have some good discussions. You can tell us which games you liked and didn't like and whose list you liked better. Team Toph, Team Brad. Don't worry about picking Toph. My lists are better.
If you like worker placement or Euros, you're Team Toph.
Boring. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've got quite a few of those myself.
Right.
Quite a few of those myself. So do you want to get us kicked off and let everybody know what your
Happily.
first one is?
We're going to start with, go figure, a worker placement game. So my top 50 game is Anachrony. Anachrony's fun. I want to play this more.
Yeah.
Definitely has the worker placement theme, but what I like about this is the time travel aspect. The way that they've been able to make that work, I think, is a lot of fun. I was a little nervous about it going into it from the first, but I do think it kind of takes this and makes it a little bit different of an experience than your typical worker placement. So fun game. If you have not played it yet, check it out. Anachrony, my number 50.
I really enjoyed our play of that, and I like the whole time movement back and forth. It's a good game. I mean, I forget. That's like a 4 weighting.
I believe it's somewhere around there.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to review this one yet. I feel like we need to play it a couple more times before we do a review on it. But I mean, everybody really likes this game. If you like worker placement, if you like more complicated things, Mind Clash did a really nice job on this game.
Yeah, it just works. It plays well. The spaces, the setup between different rounds.
And I love the theme with the time jumping. That's why I ended up buying this. It was just like, this seems really cool, and it took a while for it to get like back in stock because I found out about it during COVID and it wasn't available, and then I just had to wait.
Yeah, that's what makes it special. So, anyways, that's my 50. Brad, what's your 50?
Sounds good. So this is going to be much higher on Toph's list, but this is a good game. Get the box right. So Lisboa. Oh, and for those listening to audio, I'll try to say Lisboa, or we'll try to say the names a few more times because I know you've been commenting on that. So
that's a good tip, actually, because I know a handful of people. I do that.
They've commented a couple times, but we did the first 50 like all at the same time before we were getting those comments. Yeah. So this is Lisboa by Vidal Lacerda from Eagle Griffin Games, and we have reviewed this. Click up here if you want to go see that. We're pretty happy about that. That's a very deep dive into Lisboa. You get to see why I went to Portugal because of this game. And you may say like, well, why is this game number 50? It's a tough game. This is the hardest weight game we have.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So it's a great and beautiful game. I just like some of Vidal Lacerda's other games better, probably because they're a little bit easier and they click with my brain more, to be honest. This one doesn't quite click with my brain and all the mechanics, and I think it's also because it's got more depth.
Yeah, it also has a larger setup than the other games as well. It takes more time to get it to the table. It takes a little bit longer to play than the other ones that we've played of his.
Yeah, and then you're not playing this every week, or at least we're not. And
I wish I was.
We have to like relearn it.
I could throw this on a regular basis rotation. Maybe not you. Well, obviously it's 50 for a reason.
But I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Like if we play 3 times a week, we could probably stick this in there and definitely get it played more than once a month. Mm-hmm. But we don't usually get that amount of time.
I wish we did. I do wish we did.
Yeah, but
fantastic game. You might see it again on my list.
You might. It's quite possible.
So that was your 50, right?
That was my 50. So we are on to 49.
Yes. 49 for me was a game that came out this last year, 2022. And I think this is part of the reason why you will see what I'm calling its big brother show up higher on my list. And that is Leader Games, ahoy. This is fun. This is fun. I had played Root, which I'm calling the big brother, and it was good. I enjoyed it. But when I played this, Root started to click for me. And so this is definitely a fun game to play. The asymmetry, while all 4 factions are different, there are also 2 that are kind of one way and 2 that are another. Like there's asymmetry between all 4, but there's a major asymmetry between how 2 of the characters play and how the other 2 play. And that I think is interesting. That's very different than Root, where all are vastly different.
Yeah, and then you have the pick up and deliver, the 2 that are pick up and deliver, which they play the same, but they're different than the battling 2 factions.
Yeah, I definitely like the mollusks the best. I think that's my favorite of it. I would like to play this some more. I enjoy this. We did a playthrough of this, and Brad's son destroyed us, I do believe, which is not uncommon because we're bad at board games. But fun game. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you picked it up this year, which means I get to play it.
I would like somebody to allow me to play the Sharks. Every time we play, somebody else wants to be the Sharks, and I'm like, oh, okay, fine.
See, I don't want to play the Sharks anymore. Like, I played the Sharks once, and it was fine. It was fun. I will play them again, but I would rather do pick up and deliver or play the mollusks. The mollusks I like a lot. So we'll play again. You can be the Sharks. I'll let you be the Sharks.
Thank you.
So awesome. So that is my number 49, Ahoy.
Yeah, I love the artwork on that. That's great. So my number 49 is still in shrink wrap. But it's still in shrink wrap because I like the games that we've played, and I went out and bought it.
Now I'm curious. Is this going to be higher on my list? Yes. Brad just wants to be like me, so he bought a game that I bought.
Yeah. Well, we bought
which
it at the
I
same
bought
time.
because another person on our game.
Yeah, we played it with Aisha, and I think we bought this in the same week.
At least within a couple weeks, if not the same week.
We were very close to each other. Like, I'm like, I don't care if he's got it. I want it too. So we are becoming more and more board and dice fans.
Yes.
But this is a great game. I love this game. They're coming out with a Kickstarter this month or maybe in February. I don't think it's this one. It's one of their other games, but it's like the big box edition of something. We'll have to look at that just to see what we think.
So for those that are listening and not watching, that is Tekenu.
Tekenu.
Yes.
Okay. So number 49, Tekenu from Board and Dice.
Yes. Tekenu, Obelisk of the Sun.
We did it again. Sorry.
Yeah, didn't even talk. Well, we didn't. You didn't. Bad at board games, bad at talking. So Obelisk of the Sun, and I won't talk about it so much when I get to it, but I love the rotation of the obelisk with the dice that are coming out.
Yeah, the dice going from the day side to the night side, and it moving around,
sitting in dusk, and these tea games, Board and Dice has done a fantastic job of this. Terracotta Army has this rondelle that moves. Toletum has the rondelle that moves all with dice. Fantastic. I love it.
I'm finding that, like, where I may not like area control that much, I really like dice placement. I don't know.
Or dice selection.
Dice selection, dice placement. Those, there's something about those games that I really enjoy the mechanic. So that's my number 49. I had to move it down so closer to 50 because of where it ended up in my first sort. And I'm like, I haven't played it enough for it to end up there.
Oh, that high? Yeah.
I really, a couple games does not make where it ended up on my list. I may want to play it right now, but I got to play it a few more times to kind of get the new out of it.
Yeah, there are, I will say, some games that I've played only a few times that are high on my list, but because of how they work, the mechanics, which I think that's the same for you're going to see that low on his list next year. I guarantee that.
Yeah, it's a great...
Low being close to 1.
Yeah, as we talk, we'll try to clarify. Closer to 1, further to 100. It's on its way to 1.
Whichever way you do that. So that was your 49. So my 48 is a game I've talked about quite a bit. Brad is not as big of a fan of this game, but I absolutely love this game. It's Horrified. Horrified is this cooperative, kind of think pandemic-esque game where you are going throughout this city and the classic monsters are coming out to fight you. The creature, Frankenstein's monster, which is known as Frankenstein in this game, and the bride, and just kind of these classic monsters grew up watching in movies and reading about and just kind of falling in love with. I love horror themes. That is fantastic. And the game, when you're playing, especially at the highest level, difficulty-wise, is quite challenging. And I love that. I play this a lot with some of my other really good friends who actually love monsters and horrified stuff so much that they started a ghost store company. And so we play this quite a bit. Absolutely love it. Fantastic game. And that is Horrified.
Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, you're right. I don't love it, but I'll be happy to play it.
Yeah. And it may depend on the group that you're playing with. But I've played it solo. I don't enjoy this one as much solo as I do with other players, because there is kind of that tension of, Dracula's coming to attack you and you got to run away quickly. And so it's a lot of fun. So that is my number 48, Horrified.
Horrified. Alrighty. My number 48 is one of my top couples games, at least with my wife. Oh, yeah. Is Caper. And this is really high on our top couples list last year. I'm not sure where it would kind of end up in our top 10, probably still in our top 10. But my only complaint with this, the game is a lot of fun. The scoring is not fun. I don't think they do a very good job of explaining the scoring. You kind of figure it out, but it's like, it shouldn't be that difficult. They could have written those rules better or explained it something. Something could have been explained better for the rules, but it's a fun 2-player game.
Yeah.
I like it. You've played it a couple times with me, I think.
I have, yeah. I like the tug of war kind of aspect to it.
Yeah. So I like the theme. I like the artwork. I keep thinking of like Ocean's 11 or something where you're going to go and, steal the artwork or whatever. And so you kind of have that feel as you're playing. So Caper, Europe, I think this is the same as the first version. This is the second version, but this one's nicer, and they've done a nice job with the inserts, and I think it's game trays even with this one. So, I have real well done.
Yeah, I've not played the first one. I've played this one, haven't played the first one, so I don't know much about comparison.
And I think they're like the same. I think all they did was reboot it, refresh it, give it a few more cards. You don't need both, but you might, if you're going to pick up one, pick up the newest one.
Yeah, I will say that. And other reviews that I've seen of them have said the same exact thing. So on to 47. My number 47 is an engine builder game. Again, I don't think this is one that's pretty high on your list, but finally it has started to click what this game is. First time we played it, we did not like it very much. And I knew that we had to be missing something because everybody talks about it. So number 47 for me is Resurgence. Tom Lehman makes fantastic games. And while I saw the reviews of this, as soon as I saw his name attached to it, I was like, that's a game that I want to pick up and I want to play. I love engine building games, probably more than I like worker placement games. And for me, the first time playing it, I think I was expecting more of a game, a lot more in a box. And it wasn't. I think this is a fast play. You got to do what you got to do right away. Get your engine build up, get the points. It's a race. Get there fast. There's not a lot of turns. And I think we both were expecting long play, really building something. Yeah. And so finally it has started to click. I've played it now with a couple other people as well. And I almost call it a filler game for me because I'm used to playing the heavier weight games. For some, it may not be a filler, but I do really enjoy the engine building aspect of this game. So that is my, 47?
Yep. Resurgence. Yep. I think it's okay. I still haven't. It was better our last play. We just played it like a week and a half ago.
It's been probably about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, it's 3 weeks ago. Anyway, and that one was much better than our first play of it by far. And I'm thinking it'll probably grow, but I don't know. I'm not sure it's going to hit my top 100. I mean, I like I said, this is another one I will sit down and play. I don't have any problem playing it, but yeah, I know people like this is your top 10.
Yeah. But I think I can understand why it's a top 10. If you're a medium weight gamer, this is probably going to be pretty high on your list in terms of engine building. So yeah, I do like it. I don't know how low or high. I don't know how close to number 1 slot it'll get for me. But I do feel it accurately placed when I did my sorting, based on my recent playthroughs of it, not the first couple. So awesome.
And my 47, actually, it's probably over in your pile.
Okay.
I don't know where it is. Seven Wonders Duel. So it's another 2-player game. And this one I like a lot. And I like it. I kind of compare it to Blitzkrieg, and only because it's like an every other. You have to play this game well. You have to look at, are you the odd or the even, and how those cards are going to be picked up. And you have to do that in Blitzkrieg. Which side of the, you get a card, I get a card, you get a card, I get a card, are you on? Because you want to make sure you're on the track that you want. That's kind of the trick with this one. And this is a real nice 2-player game. I think everybody, I don't know anybody that says this is bad.
Yeah.
This is top 20 in BGG's all time.
I believe it is.
I think
it's
somewhere
somewhere up there.
Yeah, it's really far up there. And obviously 7 Wonders was further up the list for me. I've already passed it, but this one's really good. Yeah, I really do like this one.
I like this better than 7 Wonders, and I do like 7 Wonders a lot. But this has turned into, I would say, a favorite filler for me to be able to pull out.
Yeah. So 7 Wonders Duel, it's a very solid game. Definitely recommend it if you haven't tried it.
Yeah, I think we're evenly matched in this too. You may win a little bit more than I do, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I think we're 50-50 right now. Okay. So the last game, I don't think I wasn't going for the odd and even thing. And that's how I beat you last time, is just making sure I was where I needed to be. Yeah. With the card draws. So, but I think when I'm on track, I'm going to be tough to beat.
Yes, I agree with that. That's more up your alley of a game where you are really good at it.
Yeah. So,
yeah, that's a good one.
So that was my 47. Yes, 47.
Excellent. My 46 is absolutely not on Brad's top 100 list.
Hey, my 46 isn't on his either.
Can you guess what that is?
Oh, God, no.
So I like Civilization games. Let me just preface by saying that I played a little bit on the computer, and then getting into Sid Meier's Civilization, and then eventually A New Dawn as well. This is not that. This is Through the Ages, A New Story of Civilization. This is a card game, and it's a long one, which Sid Meier's Civilization was as well. The board game was as well. So A New Dawn definitely gets shorter. This is long. Do not plan on a short game at all. But it's not 8 hours. When we're learning it, it's 8 hours. But I've now got a couple playthroughs of this game, and I will say that there is a special way that they have made this game work that does make you feel, even though it's a card game, like you're building up a civilization. And it's a long game. It's a long haul game. It's a long thought game, but so was Building Up the Ages through our history. So I think this fits well thematically. It is thinky. It is very crunchy, hard to kind of wrap your mind around some of the things that you're going to be doing. But once you start to understand the mechanics, then those very difficult decisions of what cards am I going to play, when, where, and how am I going to spend my resources make sense. So I think they've done a very good job of it. I'm anxious to see where it's going to get as I play more and more games of it. But it is, I think, a great game. And you would disagree, which is why we're friends.
But it's not that I don't see it, but like, it's not worth the effort, in my opinion.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can play TI 4, but this was, I learned it. I taught it to Toph. I mean, I was hyped to do it, on top, I think it was top 10 at the time last year, BGG's all time, right? And so we wanted to go through and play all the top 10 BGGs of all time games so that, we had them and could talk about them and such. And like this one was fine until it wasn't. It was just too long. Like, it was just too long. And, I like what it's doing. But that's kind of why I'm interested in playing the Mosaic. And there's another Civ game I just saw somebody talk about in their top somethings where they said it was a faster Civ game. Like, I want to find a Civ game that I like. Yeah. But it's just not this one.
Yeah, I want you to play Civilization A New Dawn.
Yeah, I want to try that one too.
Yeah, I think you would like it. It does get rid of some of the Civilization feel because it does simplify things, but I think you'll like the action selection process. I think you'll like some of the aspects of it a lot more, and it plays so much shorter.
Right.
This, for me, actually, he makes a good comparison. This is not something I want to play all the time. This would be like my TI4. Brad wants to play that every 3-4 months. This, I would be happy to play a couple times a year and be fine with it. I feel like that would be enough. Maybe some more, but I don't want to play this every week. It's almost too thinky for me to be able to do that.
Well, I'm just too long.
Well, too thinky, but yet you'll see Lisboa at the top of my list. So
yeah. So that is your number what?
That was my number 46, Through the Ages, a new story.
All right. And so my 46, funny enough, is not on his top 100 either.
Curious.
He's really bad at it.
Yeah.
Mind MGMT. Mind Management. Cool comic book. Still thinking about getting the omnibus, actually, now that I've read and gone through some of the fluff in this thing. Very interested. I like the artwork, like the whole psychic James Bond thing that they've got going on here. I liked it. I was very excited to get this. And then, like, my sons can, like, kick the crap out of me in this quickly. And then Toph sits over there and he just struggles the whole time. And then my game group, analysis paralysis people that they are, took a 1-hour game and turned it into like a 2.5-hour game.
Yeah. I was not here for that, or I was playing something else. But
you weren't here for that. I think that was the day you weren't here. But yeah, it was, so it is a good game. I don't think you need the deluxe. I know everybody's like, oh, but for the price, get the regular standees, thicker wooden. Basically, they look like the standees, and they're just wooden 1/4-inch thick pieces. It doesn't matter.
This is a game that taught me that worker placement is not my mechanic. Or I'm sorry, that hidden movement is not my mechanic. I liked hidden movement in some games. This, I realized, okay, it's not the hidden movement that I like about the games, like Letters of Whitechapel that I like. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
And that's why I thought he would like this one, and then he just didn't. I was like, oh, I got another hidden movement game coming from Kickstarter. I'm
Great.
Really sad.
Can't wait to try that one.
But
it's
anyway.
a good game. It's just not for me.
Yeah. So, Mind Management, that is my number 46.
Excellent. My number 45, I do not own. At some point, I would love to own this for solo play more than competitive play, and that is A Feast for Odin. And I want you to play that as well.
I do want to play that.
Yeah. It's big. It's a table hog. It's got a lot of things, and I'll be honest, I'm old. My eyes are not working, so I was sitting there with the camera, like, snapping photos of the different parts of the table so I could zoom in and look at it. But it is great. It's a lot of fun. It's worker placement meets building out your board in front of you and kind of a push and pull, or what's the word I'm looking for? Push your luck on, do you want to try for additional goals to get insane numbers of points, or do you not? Because if you don't, you're going to lose a lot of points. And I think that's a lot of fun in these games, especially the longer games, to kind of get a little bit of tension as you have played it for a while and everybody start thinking, what do I do next? Where do I go with this? So we played it at 4. It was great at 4. I have not yet played the expansion. I've heard that is kind of a game maker, that it just makes it so much better. But I have not played that yet. The base game is enough for me. I think it's a lot of fun. So I would love it at some point. I would love the price to come down a little bit to be able to get it and add it into my collection. So that is my number 45.
It would be nice if they reprinted the Norwegian expansion too.
Yes, that's hard to find. Yeah, that's harder to find.
And if you find it, it's expensive.
Yeah. So
your
A Feast for Odin, number 45.
Yep. This next one is Toast, and this one's fun. It's Take That. Where is it? There it is.
Oh, is this a yes?
Evolution, A New Beginning. It's fun. It's easy. It's Take That. You get to eat other people's animals.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. It's fun. I don't need the more complicated versions of this. I like the funness and all the quirkiness of this game. Mm-hmm. It's right what I need.
And I think I mentioned when I was talking about it, I also am like, I have the next one. I've played some of the more, I don't want to say complex, but more complex,
they're more
fuller
complex.
games.
They're heavier games.
I like this the best. Yeah. I do. It's fun.
This one is Evolution, The New Beginning. It is my number 45, and I think it's a blast.
And it's, Evolution, The Beginning. Yeah. Oh, so much fun. So much fun. Excellent. My number 44 is a solo game, and that's why it's higher in numbers on this list. I love this. This is one of my favorite solo games now, thanks to you all who recommended it on my top 10 solo games video. It is Warp's Edge. The stress of going through and pretty much losing, but jumping through a time warp and getting to fight again is a lot of fun. You only have so many warps to be able to do it in. So, well, it's kind of like, okay, I'm upgrading-ish by dying and coming back again. You're not necessarily, because you've got to be able to get through what you need to get through. And you got to learn how to, it's a bag builder. You got to learn how to call out your bag as you're able to do so and upgrade what you can. I think it's a lot of fun. It's definitely something that I will sit down and play 2, 3, 4 times in a row, and then I'll put it away for a while. And then I'll pull back out and play it multiple times in a row, and then I'll put it away for a while. So I'm not pulling this out on a daily basis. But when I do pull it out, I remember how much now I love the game. And so it's a lot of fun. Warp's Edge, I've looked into the expansions. Maybe I'll pick it up at some point. For now, there's still a lot of replayability in this game.
Yeah, and I think this is probably one you're going to like or not like. I tried it. This is something you can play at lunch. I borrowed this from Toph and played it over a couple week period, kept trying, and it just didn't. I wasn't any good at it. I wasn't like getting through the missions and stuff, and so it just felt, for me, it just ended up feeling very defeating. Like when I'm at playing Marvel Champions as a solo game, I might lose, but I also win. I've got, a 50-60% win rate. This was like 100% loss for me. So it's like, all right, I want the game to be difficult, but I don't want the game to be like, oh,
destroy you.
Yeah. I never win. Yeah. That's not my kind of solo game.
I like this also because I've started to see what the easier combos are. And so, sometimes I'll gravitate to those. And then there's definitely harder villains or spaceships that are coming to you to attack. One thing that I like about this, I don't know if you played it, is there's a campaign book in here. And it's not really a campaign so much as it's a storybook. And as you answer questions, and it'll be like, go to this page to do this, or go to this page to do this, you are building the cards and the scenario of who you're fighting and who you are. And so I kind of, even though I've read through that book multiple times, sometimes I just skip through the chapters and pick what it is. It will give me the cards I'm going to play. So I'm also not having to sit there and think, do I want to go easy or hard? I'm answering questions in a book, and it's giving me the game I'm going to play. So I think that's kind of fun too.
Very nice.
Awesome. Warp's Edge. That is my 44.
My 44 is Toast, and I love this game. Furnace. So there's something with me because I'm an engineer and I'm in manufacturing. Anything that has like building manufacturing and all these kind of games, I like a lot. I like the mechanics. I like how they're going about building the industries or the cars or whatever it is. And I might end up trying to buy that spotter game that just is coming out with horseless carriage or something like that.
You've talked about that one.
Yeah, so that one like is number one on the hotness, and I didn't realize it was coming out. But and I'm not really into spotter games, but that one, the theme may get me to try that one. So
yeah, Furnace is a lot of fun. I am not very good at this game, but I'm not bad at it. No. This is definitely a game that when Brad and I play, he's likely going to probably always win. But it's a lot of fun playing, even though I lose a lot more than I win this game. It's a lot of fun to play. So
yeah, and I think I talked about it like when this came out at Gen Con, it was hyped, and like Shut Up and Sit Down likes it and all. And I don't think this is something you can watch and be like, oh yeah, I'm so into that. I so want to go get that. I think it's, if you try it, that might be the reason you buy it, which makes it difficult to do, right? So it's, can you find it used? Can you, give it a shot? It's a 2-player game. You may or may not have somebody to play.
It plays up to 4, actually.
Oh, it plays at 4. We've just been playing 2.
Yeah, 2 to 4.
It's a nice 2-player game, then, I should say. So
yeah. I prefer it at 2, I think. I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth between 2 and 3. I don't think I've played it at 4 yet, or I've played it at 4 and not 3. But 2 is great.
Yeah. So this is a really nice game. I really like it. It was a nice surprise to sit and play it after I'd kind of passed on it when it came out, and then be like, I should not have passed on that. But yeah. So Furnace, just to make sure I'm saying the name of the game enough, is my number 44.
Yeah, because you didn't say the name of the game.
I don't think I did. So Furnace. Furnace.
Yeah. Number 43 for me is one that Brad owns, and I've really enjoyed playing. I did not play the original of this, and that is Return to Dark Tower. And this is fun. It's got a good story to it. It's usually hectic. We are usually kind of getting to a crisis situation whenever we play it. Although I think we've won most of about half the games that we've played. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It's Return to Dark Tower. I thought it was going to be all hype, but again, I never played the original. You did. Yeah. So you understood kind of the excitement of this new one.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's like, I love the original a lot, and I played it solo, and even when I was a kid, and to me, it doesn't live up to that experience, but it could have been like, you glorify and you dream things of how good they were back a long time ago, right? This is a good game. The caveat to this is I don't like passing my phone around for the app. I wish I had an iPad or to project it up on the TV. But they've done a really nice job. And then I went all in on this. I've got everything, and I did not back the newest expansion that they just had probably 6 months ago. This is enough for me, and we're not playing it all the time that I felt like I needed more content. I've got enough content with the all in from the first Kickstarter. I didn't need any more. But
to my knowledge, we haven't played anywhere near through everything.
Well,
at least I have not.
Yeah, you didn't play the extra expansion. That was Derek and Ashby and I. But it is cooperative. You have to cooperate. You can't just go over on your own, and you will lose if you don't cooperate and you know how to work together. So, but it's a nice game. They've done a really nice job. Got the miniatures, got a couple of them painted. I wish I had more, but Dark Tower, Return to Dark Tower is a very good game.
Yeah, that's my number 43.
Your number 43. My number 43 is somewhere right here. Parks. So I talked about trails further up the list, right? Between here and 100. And that one's my board game Breakfast, and it's good, and it's a very good implementation of Parks and a shorter version of Parks in a small box, but Parks is better. I've probably still played Trails more than Parks because it's something you can pull out and play at the breakfast table or I've taken it on vacation, things like that. This has game trays in it. It's got beautiful artwork. I like this game. I like Trails. I like this. If you like one or the other, you're going to like both, I think is really what it amounts to. There's a little bit more crunch, not much, that you're going to add into Parks versus Trails, but it's not significant.
Yeah, I've not played Parks, so I can't speak to this game. I need to play it. I enjoyed Trails, nice little filler. I'm sure I will like this.
Yeah, if you liked Trails, you'll like this. And I bought Trails because it was cheaper, and I didn't want to pay money for this.
That's what I did. I did the same thing. I bought Trails. I think I actually bought Trails before you did.
You might have. I don't
but
remember.
I never played it because we have way too many games. And so it sat on my shelf for a long time. So I've now played Trails, but yep. At some point I want to play this.
Yeah, it's really good. I've done a review with Ara with this, and it helps that Ara likes this game, right? So, things that she likes, things that she will play with me, I enjoy as well.
It's good. A lot of people love it.
Yeah. So Parks is my number 43.
Excellent. My number 42 is Fallen Over. It is also a solo game, and that is Under Falling Skies. This is popped up on some of the highest levels of my solo gaming list, but it's not a game that I'm really playing with anybody else. You can sit down and maybe work with somebody else to complete a mission, but I don't think I would want to do that. I think I just want to do it by myself. Again, similar to Warp's Edge, Under Falling Skies has a book that you can work through, kind of a campaign. And so you can increase the difficulty as you get through the game, as you start to kind of unlock more parts of it. And it does give you a fun option of, as you're playing through the campaign, of how you choose your cards. So I enjoy it. Have you played this yet?
I have not. That's one I think we were talking about doing a solo review of it where you teach me how to play it.
Yeah.
But we just haven't had a chance.
Yeah, we need to do that. I think you will like this more than Warp's Edge.
Yeah, he did a solo where he played through it and he did it, and I screwed up the 2-camera white balance, and Dan called me out on it and helped me.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. So,
I was like, yes, I know. I realized I did that after the fact.
It happens. It happens.
Yep.
But anyways, this is my number 42, Under Falling Skies.
Excellent. So my number 42, haven't played it much, but this is an epic game, and this came down to the end, as you kind of want these games to. So this is the story of, the hobbits and destroying the ring and the whole Lord of the Rings saga, and it's a war game. So the rules are tough with this because you have to change your mind to thinking like Warhammer 40K war game. They've written it like that with keywords and things. And so once my brain flipped, and I had a hard time finding people that really explained this well, so I kind of had to watch Mike, the One Stop Co-op Shop, Mike's playthrough of it to be like, okay, this is how it's working and this is the mechanics. But then as I was reading it again, I'm like, oh, this isn't board game rules. This is war game rules. And then it made a big difference for me. Toph still struggled with it because it's a war game.
Yeah, I'm not a war gamer. And as Brad was explaining it to me, and then all of a sudden he was like, well, this reads like a war game. I'm like, that's lost on me.
Yeah. So, I ended, because they have the keywords, and it started making a lot more sense to me once I flipped my brain to Warhammer 40K rulebook versus board game rulebook. But it came down to the end. Like, Toph was, I had destroyed everything, and Toph was getting up on Mount Doom, and it was the last turn. I was either going to destroy him and everything was going to go to the dark side, or he was going to destroy the ring. And he had to pull out a chit out of the cup, and it was like the odds were not in his favor.
Exactly the only thing I needed.
Yeah. Yeah, there was like 1 or 2 chits in there that was going to be like he would pull and win or not. So it was like, was he going to get corrupted?
I will say it was fun. This is not on my list. It's not my style game, so I'll say that. And I'm not huge Lord of the Rings fan. I like it. I enjoy it. But this is definitely more thematically up your alley and game wise and everything. But I will say the ending of it got quite fun. The stress of it, that and Brad said that's what the game's about. So
and it's got a couple cool movie moments in it with like the Ents. So I think the ending and the Ents are probably the 2 best parts of the game. But this one was fun. I'm gonna eventually play this with my son, who is Lord of the Rings, who does like these kind of games, and I think we will like it.
Yes, I can see that 100%. 100%. Yeah.
But it's not easy to table. Some people may, but like we play a lot of games, so this is not and it's a 2-player. Don't ever play it more than 2. Just 2.
So that is your number 42?
Yeah, so that's War of the Ring. I don't know if I explained that enough or at all. War of the Ring, you need to catch me when I'm not saying the names, is my number 42. So
my number 41. So the last 2 games on our lists for the moment. My number 41. This game actually has dropped. And I think it's because we've played Pandemic Legacy. This is Pandemic. I actually do not play this game unless I'm playing with the On the Brink expansion, at least if we're playing with my game, because I do like the added complexity that you get with some of the modules in the On the Brink expansion. Pandemic is fantastic, and it has always been one of my absolute favorite games of all times. But there have been some newer implementations, and also who I play it with is changing. Brad doesn't really care for Pandemic, although I do believe that Pandemic Legacy is higher on your list.
I like other kinds of Pandemic.
Yes. Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I don't like base Pandemic.
Yes, base Pandemic. Yeah. I still like base Pandemic. It's one of my favorite ways to introduce others to the hobby. I think it's fantastic. It's such a great game. And so it deserves a spot exactly where it is, but it has for a long time been much higher on my list of games. So it's dropped a little bit, but I will still, if anybody says I want to play Pandemic, bring it on. I'm down right away. Love it. So Pandemic on the Brink, Pandemic, whatever expansion you wanted to add into it. That is my 41.
And my 41, I'll remember to say the name of the game this time, is new. It was Kickstarter, and I'm not sure it's going to move up or down. I think it's a good spot for it. I could see it moving up or down, just depending on how often we get to play it. We liked it. We did a review on it. Click up here if you haven't, but it's Resurgence. So this is a nice worker placement game, and it's like an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a really long game. You have the whole marketplace where things slide out and come in, and you have this tension of whoever goes there first, or if there's like the zombies, you have to pay more. Mm-hmm. So it's got this nice little mechanic, and then you've got your own player board that you can kind of unlock, and you don't have a lot of time to do this, right? And so I like the fact that the game keeps it tight and short. Mm-hmm. So, I want to play it more to find out, which direction is it going to go? Yeah.
This is a game that I want to play more in 2023, like purposely make sure that we're playing it more, because they did a great job with this. Yeah. This was absolutely not on my radar because I'm not a Kickstarter type person. So as soon as we started playing it, I was like, okay, solid. They've done a good job with it.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed this. This is the same designer that did Endless Winter, and he's created his own publishing house, and he's out of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, I believe. So I've enjoyed it. I like the artwork. I like what they've done here.
Theme's fun.
Mm-hmm. So pretty cool. That is Resurgence, and that is the end of my list for this video.
Yes. So what'd you think?
Brad's is better.
Absolutely not. How did our list stack up to your list? Have you played these games? I think some of mine are a little bit older, although you had some too. These are games that we absolutely love. They have made our top 50, not just our top 100 games of all times. So what are your thoughts? What is in your number 50 down to 41 slot with your rankings? Definitely let us know how you think Team Toph is the better team to be on. At my list is definitely
why Brad
better.
Is always the best out of two of us.
But you're bad at board games. Actually, I pulled up some games that you beat me at all the time. So maybe I'm bad at board games.
Like I said, it's really interesting that all the games in his high, all closer to 100 are the ones I win at.
It happens.
Really, it's weird.
It happens.
It's coincidence. I know it's coincidence.
Of course.
Just coincidence.
Or maybe I just let you win because they're my favorite games.
I'm just saying that, I guarantee you there's top 10 of mine that I don't win at.
Yeah.
That are his. I'm just saying that I don't see any reciprocation in that. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you for watching. Just remember, no matter how you're playing, whether it's solo, with family, or friends,
enjoy whatever games you are bringing to the table.
Have a good night.
Bye.